Hello everybody, this is Mr. Galvan again, and today we're going to be talking about Google applications. Specifically, we're going to go into Google Classroom from the perspective of a student or parent accessing this application. So Google Classroom is a great tool, and many teachers use it across the country to be able to communicate with students, assign work, and get grades, share content, share resources, and provide a really dynamic educational experience for the students. So I want to talk to parents and students today specifically about how to access their Google accounts and how to go into the classroom and navigate through that particular platform. It's really important that you guys key in on certain details. So I'm going to try to cover everything bit by bit to make sure that we get a really good, strong overview about all of the features that are there and about all of the different things that your teachers can post and communicate with you and how you can complete assignments and do the work you need to do. So first things first, let's go ahead and talk about accessing. So if you have a new tab open, like I have here, new tab, I'm going to go ahead and click or type in google.com and we're going to go in and we're on Google. So you might recognize this. There's always a fun little new thing here. This person's birthday, the search bar. We can type in search. You have Gmail and images. You have the sign in, but we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to focus on these little squares. Sometimes they appear as little dots. Either way, we see a bunch of applications, but we don't see Google Classroom, and that's okay. Google Classroom is really available only to those people that are in educational domains. So universities, some public schools, depending on if they're partnered with Google, really just depends on your institution, your school or your school district. If you're not sure if they are partnered with Google, it's best to ask your teacher and or administrator at your campus. Okay, so right now we don't see Classroom, but remember, we're not logged in. I'm going to go ahead and begin from the Drive. Now, if you want to, you can begin from Gmail or maybe one of these other applications. I'm going to start from Drive, and I'm going to talk to you about why in just a little bit. So first off, let's go ahead and log in. Now, the login is going to be very important to keep in mind some key details. When you log in for the first time, if you're a BISD student, I work at BISD, I'm a librarian there, it's going to be your ID number, whatever it is, I made one up, at stu.bisd.us. Now, the STU meaning you're a student, bisd.us being the domain. Your ID number being your ID number, that's unique to you, but you have to put in the whole thing when you log in. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Your ID number at stu.bisd.us. Now, if you're in another school district accessing Google from somewhere else, it might very well be a lot different from you. Again, contact your local school or school district for information on how to access Google. Okay? For my BISD students, this is how you do it if you're a student. Okay? Mine is a little bit different since I'm part of faculty. So I'm doing it like that. And then my password. Now your password is that unique set of numbers or characters that was provided to you to access the computers at the campus. For secondary students, it's unique to you. Nobody else. It's very, very special. For elementary students, it might be a little bit different, so you might want to double check with your teachers or administrators. Okay? We go ahead and click next, and it takes us into the Google Drive. All right, now the Google Drive is a great place to start. My preference for starting things, because not only is Google Drive a great place to store things, and as you can see, you can store images, you can store Google Forms, Microsoft Word documents, you can create folders. It's a big cloud where you can put in a lot of different files. You can also create things. If you click on New, yes, we see the file upload or the folder upload. You can put up all of your photos or your essays from your classes or whatever, but you can also create things. You can make a Google Doc, which is like Microsoft Word, or a sheet or a slide, which is like Excel or PowerPoint. There's also more where you can make more stuff. You can make a form or a drawing. You can use the maps, all kinds of things you can do. Over here, we have those little dots. Remember they were little squares before? I'm going to click on that. I see my applications, and what do we have here? Yes, Google Classroom has appeared. Now that I'm logged in into my educational account with the ISD, I now have access to Google Classroom. which is fantastic. So if I go ahead and click on Classroom, it takes me to the Google Classroom page. Notice at the top here, classroom.google.com. Another way to go in, if you just want to go straight to Classroom, you don't want to mess with Drive, that's okay. You click on a new tab, you type in classroom.google.com, and you press enter. And that's it. It'll ask you to log in, of course, if you're not logged in, but it's a more direct route to Classroom than the other way. Okay, so right off the bat, I see I've got a couple of classes here all across this page. I just want to make a clarification. These two classes, History, Sample Book Club, and the ones on the bottom are classes that technically I'm teaching because I created them. The classes that are here, these top two, are classes that well, this one I'm enrolled in, and this one I have been invited to. I know that I've been invited to it, but I'm not part of it yet because there's a button for either decline or join that I can click here. Another thing that I want to mention is this little plus sign. If you click on the little plus sign, it gives you an option to either create a class or join a class. Now, depending on your account, you may not be able to create a class. If you're a student, you might just be able to join. I can't confirm that, but that could be the case. In any case, if you click on join class, it'll ask you to type in a class code. Now, if you were in the classroom with your teacher, in all likelihood, they would be providing this code to you if you're there with your laptops, and they can, monitor you and, make sure that you're putting in the correct code. But being that we're doing distance learning right now, it's more likely that they invited you through their accounts and you're seeing something like this. You're seeing the class with an invitation to join or decline. Obviously, it's going to be very important you to click join. Additionally, if you logged into your email, let's say you have an email through your campus, like mine, I see that Ms. Castagnon has invited me to join this class, Reading 101. So not only do I see it in my email, I also see it in my Google Classroom. It's in both places. And I do want to give out a shout out to Robin Castagnon, actually Robin Arredondo, her married name. She partnered with me on this project, a very, very good friend of mine and colleague, fellow librarian. So I just want to give a big thank you to her for working with me on this project. It would not be possible without her. So thank you, Robin. So let's go ahead and click on join. I want us to just dive in already. So we need to join the class. Our teacher has instructed us to do so. We're clicking join. When we click join, it takes us into the classroom environment. Now, this is what this class looks like. I'm not going to mess with this one because this is just one of the samples that I asked Ms. Castagnon, Ms. Arredondo to create for me. Instead, we're going to go back out to classes. We're going to go into book club. This is the one that we're really going to explore because it has a lot of the features set up for us that I want to talk to you guys about today. So first things first, you have these lines at the top. If you click on classes, it takes you back to the main page where all the classes are located. Okay. If you click on calendar, it gives you a few different due dates, a few different things that are pending. You click over here to kind of move through the weeks. You can see the different things that you need to do. You can also click on them to get a more detailed view of what's in there. We're going to cover this a little bit more in depth in a little bit, so we'll go back to it. I'm going to go back to the main classes. I'm going to go back to book club, and I'm going to go back to the little lines. So clicking on the little lines, I can see the classes that I'm teaching with a to-do list, and I can see the classes that I'm enrolled in as a student with a to-do list. The to-do list is a really cool feature, and especially if you have, let's say you have 6 classes. You've got like your math, your reading, your science, your history, your PE, or band even, whatever. You have a bunch of classes. If you click on to-do, you see that you have the assignments that are due for all of the different classes that you have. If you click on classes, you can narrow it down to just 1 or 2 of them, or you can see all of the assignments. And really, that's the best way to look at it because you want to get a sense of, okay, what are all of the things that I need to accomplish? If you click on done, you'll see those assignments that you have finished. But note, I have not finished any work yet. Uh-oh, I gotta get moving. All right, so I'm gonna click on the lines again. I'm gonna go back to the book club. Remember, I'm enrolled in it, so I'm gonna click here. If I go here, I can scroll down a little bit, and I see that there's this box, upcoming, and a bunch of stuff here. This is the box that tells us the things that are coming up. If I click on view all, it shows us the things that we need to do. So it's kind of like the to-do list, except I guess think of this as the to-do list just for the book club, okay? It allows me to click on any of these that are here, so that way I can see more detailed views of the stuff that's in the classes. Also, I can filter them to show what's been assigned, what's been returned to me with a grade. So if I completed an assignment and Ms. Arredondo returned it to me so that I could see what grade that I got, or the things that are missing. So those things that were never turned in. Uh-oh. But fortunately, I don't have any of that. No missing items, so not too shabby. All right, let's go back. I'm going to go back to the main page of the book club. So that's the upcoming box. Notice that right now there are these 3 tabs, and it's clear that I'm on the stream page because of this line, right? So the stream page is really cool because it is a place where students and teachers can share out ideas with everybody. So if I type something here, all of the other students can see it and my teacher can see it. So let's just say I want to type something like, I love books. I can't wait to read the novels for this year. Can we read some mystery books? So maybe I like mystery books. I don't know. So I can make that comment, and I can see the comments of other people that respond to me. Notice nobody's commented yet. I just made this post. I made this post earlier. Nobody commented on that, so that would be a little bit of a sad thing. But notice that we can also see assignments that were posted. Notice that Ms. Arredondo here posted, or showing Ms. Castellino posted an assignment for the most awesome tree. We get to see that, yes, anytime the teacher posts an announcement, posts an assignment, posts anything, it ends up on the main stream page. So we're always kept up to date. If I click here, I can click on the comments that I made. I responded to Ms. Arredondo's assignment about if it could be any tree in the world or just in America. And she says that yes, it can be any tree that you think is awesome, no matter where in the world it is. Notice that I was able to upload a tree as well. If I go in here, I can click on delete, or I can copy this link and send it to somebody else. Notice that when I posted this tree, Ms. Arredondo made a comment. Thank you for sharing, Jason. This makes a good visual for what Red might look like on Wish Day. Red being the main character of the novel Wish Tree. So I think that if I wanted to make a post or a response to this, I could say maybe something like, what is the best day for a wish day? Are all wish days the same, or do they vary from country to country? So if I post something like that, maybe I'm curious about a particular item, I can post that comment. Now remember, if it's on the main stream page, all the other students can see it, so they can kind of share in on their thoughts regarding this issue. Or if Ms. Arredondo wants to comment, she can do so herself. Notice that I had a general question, and I posted it here, and I waited for other responses. The stream page is really useful when you want to communicate to your teacher because it allows the teacher to provide answers that could be useful not just for you, but for the whole class. So if you want to make a comment or a suggestion, or you have a question and you think it could be beneficial for the class as a whole, definitely utilize the stream. Definitely a good place to do a lot of great communicating, not just with your teacher, but with your peers, with your other classmates. Okay? So lots of stuff getting posted, and of course, like I said, class materials and assignments all get posted here. So let me go ahead and go into those assignments. Like, I can go into the assignments a couple of different ways. If I want to look through the stream and I want to click on the assignment or a new material or any item, I can just go ahead and click on here directly, and it'll take me into the assignment. If I want to click on classwork at the top, I could, from there, look at all the assignments and materials that have been posted by the teacher. Notice that she's assigned an essay, a quiz, she's uploaded a video, some notes, she has set up her classroom folder, and she posted another little assignment here with the most awesome tree. So if I were to click on one of these assignments, let's say I click on the most awesome tree. This assignment reads as follows. It was posted, you see the posting date, you see it's marked as assigned, and you see the due date, April the 6th. You're going to find that there are, whenever you have something posted, you can see the due dates and a lot of information repeated in many different ways in many different areas. So I think Google does that so that we can really get a good glimpse about the main important information whenever we need to see it. So in this case, this is posted on the 31st and it's due on April the 6th. Find a famous painting or photograph of a cool looking tree. It doesn't have to be a wish tree, just a tree that you think looks awesome. Notice there are two class comments. I had a question for her. Miss Ardona, can it be any tree in the whole world or just trees in America? And she said it can be any tree that you think is awesome no matter where in the world it is. So now I need to go ahead and complete this assignment. So we're going to click on View Assignment. And we're going to look at some detailed information here. We have the details. We have a sample. Notice that Ms. Arredondo posted a sample, and we can see it. We have this cool looking tree. Notice that we have these comments. I made comments specifically about this assignment, and remember, all the other students can see these comments, which is fine because maybe this question is a good question. Maybe it could help another student that has a similar question. Notice though, Google Classroom provides the ability to have a private communication with the teacher regarding an assignment. And this is especially important because sometimes as a student, you're not comfortable asking a question for all the group to hear. Maybe you just want to speak one-on-one with the teacher about something that you think is important. Maybe you're afraid your question is going to sound silly, or you don't want to get laughed at, or you think, oh, nobody wants to hear this question. So, or if you have just a question that is specifically for you and that doesn't really apply to anybody else, this is a good way to do it. You go through the private comments on the particular assignment that you're working with. So notice I asked her if I already posted a picture of a tree, do I need to post another one? Technically, I did the assignment. And she says just to repost the picture so that I could get credit. I have another comment here. She responds, and it's that easy, guys. Communication with the teacher is vital. And sometimes it's great to communicate with the teacher, just like in class. Sometimes it's great to do it with all of the students hearing your question. You raise your hand and the teacher asks, or you get to ask your teacher the question and they answer it. Or sometimes you wait for the bell to ring. Everybody leaves the class and you want to go up to the teacher and ask them one-on-one, oh, I wasn't sure about the notes. I lost the notes. Is there a way to get a copy of the notes or something like that? You get to ask them one-on-one a particular item that only pertains to you. And that's okay. That's what the private comments are for here. Okay. Now, how do we do the assignment though? Like what's involved in actually getting this done? Now, it's going to vary depending on the assignment. In this case, she wants us to put a tree in here, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to click on Add or Create. Now, we can go ahead and get a file from our computer, from a link from a website, or from the Google Drive. We can also make brand new things. But in this case, she wants us to get a photo or a famous painting or something from a tree that's in existence already. So we're not going to be making something. So one way to go is to maybe do a search. Maybe you could look for awesome looking trees like that. And we have all of these cool images of some really, really awesome trees. Wow. Okay, so maybe I click on this one, and ooh, look at this one. This one has I missed it. This one has a face, and then there's this blue one, and I have this white one. Wow, these are like bendy. These are big bendy trees. I mean, there's so many trees to choose from. I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take this one that looks like a chair. How about that one? So we can right click, we can save our image, and we can save it to our computer. I'm going to save mine to my desktop, and it saves. From there, I can go ahead and go into my Google Classroom page. We do the Add or Create, and we go to File, and let's say we want to upload something. So we select a file from our device. I'm going to click on that weird number letter one that I did. Yeah, right there. Click on Open, Upload, And boom, now I can click on Turn In. One attachment will be submitted. I click Turn In, and ladies and gentlemen, we are done. Notice there is an unsubmit option, but I mean, once we're done, we're done. You know, we feel pretty good about it. Additionally, notice that when we did on the upload, when we were going to create something, we could have clicked on the Google Drive. I had actually saved a couple of images of trees on the Google Drive. So if you have something that you already have in your drive, you can definitely put it in there. It does allow you to do that. But let's go back in here. So we finished this one. We scroll down. We see that there's an essay. Ms. Arredondo was actually really good about creating not only the topic, if you could put a wish on a wish tree, what would it be and why? She actually created a rubric for us to follow. She's assigning point values to different aspects of the assignment. She wants us to have an introduction, a body, a conclusion, and she's even grading us on punctuation. So the punctuation does have a point value as well. It's going to be really important that you guys, if you see a rubric like this, if you see your teacher is giving you these rules to follow and she's assigning points for all of these things, that you follow it, that you make sure that you pay attention, that you read carefully. And notice in the body, she divides the points in different sections. You just have to read carefully and notice what the teacher is wanting you to work with. And it's really important that you look carefully. Notice that I had a question about her reading the essays and also the class reading the essays, and she was really good about responding. It's important to always be communicating with your teacher. If you're not clear on something, use the class comments or use the private comments, and make sure that you communicate. So you see the point value for the assignment and of course the due date. Make sure that you follow it. If you want to add or create, really for essays, guys, easiest way to do it, you add or create and you start a Google Doc. You click on Google Docs and give it a second. It opens up a new tab, and right from the new tab, you can start typing. If I could wish for something, and there you go. You can start typing away. You finish it. Notice Jason Galvan wish tree essay. It already named the file for me. Are you kidding? How easy this is. So you finish it, it already has it ready to go. So by the time you are done, and notice, when you work with a Google document, whether it's a slideshow, a PowerPoint, an Excel, whatever, you make a Google Doc, it saves automatically. It's saving as you go. All changes saved in the drive. Automatically, it says. So you keep typing. If I could wish for something, I would wish for world peace. And then, you have to explain. You're typing an essay. Once you finish, you click on turn in, and you're done. Obviously, this essay is not going to get the greatest grade in the world. I did not follow Ms. Arredondo's rubric, but make sure you guys do. Very, very important. Okay, going back to the classroom, I'm going to go back to book club, and I'm going to go back to classwork, and I want to see this other thing. Ooh, look at this. We have a video. So notice Miss Arredondo she gives us some instructions. Watch author Catherine Applegate discuss her book Wish Tree. So we have a YouTube video. You click on it, and it plays. It plays right from the classroom page. We can make it a full screen. It's just super easy to work with these things, guys. Although watch out for the video. Sometimes your teacher wants you to also do an assignment, not just watch the video. So read carefully the instructions. All right, and finally, sometimes you have the dreaded quiz. Sometimes, yes, you have to complete a quiz through Google Classroom. So she gives you the directions. After you finish reading Wish Tree, complete the quiz. The quiz is here. You would click on it. Here, I have asked her a variety of questions that the class could also see. I also asked her a private question. Did you need to have read the whole book to be able to complete the quiz? And she answers yes, its entirety. So communicate with your teachers, guys. If you haven't heard me say that, which you should have because I've said it a couple times, very important. So notice that with the add or create, we're going to actually start here in the case of a quiz. We have a quiz with Google Forms, so we're going to need to click here first, and we're going to need to complete the quiz. Uh-oh. So what happens every year on the 1st of May? People hang the wishes. What did Samara wish for? A friend. Guys, spoiler alert if you haven't read Wish Tree. Uh-oh. What tool was used to carve out the word leave into the tree? It was a screwdriver. How many rings does red have? You know what? I'm just going to mark a random answer on these last couple of questions because I want you guys to see what happens when you get some right and some wrong, depending, of course, on if Ms. Arredondo grades the assignment right away. And of course, I'm going to mark Kathy Malcolm here, so we'll click submit. Your response has been recorded. Done. Okay, we go back to the class. We did the quiz. We know we did the quiz. At this point, we mark as done. Again, why? We submitted the quiz. We saw the confirmation the quiz was submitted, so we clicked complete. We marked it as done. We're good to go. So now when I go back to book club and I go to my classwork and I scroll up, I can click on view my work and notice I see that the file is attached here. I see the file is attached here. And on the side here, it's been marked as turned in, which is great. So now we know that the assignment was completed. Now, if I click on returned with a grade, we see that Ms. Arredondo has not graded the assignments yet. So we're not going to be able to see the grade for those for that quiz that we just did, unfortunately. But do know this though, when the teachers have returned the assignments, when the grades are submitted and put in, you will be able to see the assignment returned with the grade, okay? Depending, of course, on the settings that they establish. So finally, if I'm going back up here, if I click on people, you can see the other people that are in the class. Although in my case, I don't see anybody because it's just me. Actually, other students have not yet been added to this class. Demonstration purposes, guys. That's why this one was created. But I hope you guys got something. Oh, look at this. My upcoming. It changed. Do you want to know why? We completed all of our work. So what does that mean? Woohoo! No work due soon. We're all caught up, guys. We are ahead of the game. So I hope this has been informative for you. A little bit about Google Classroom, using the stream page, completing your classwork, utilizing some of the tools. And again, guys, don't sleep on the Google Drive and don't sleep on the Google Docs because you can do a variety of things. Okay, you can create a variety of different types of files with these links here. Okay, so the Google Drive is great. Classroom is easy enough to navigate with. Oh, and one more thing before I go. The class drive folder here, I mean, we have Google Calendar. Google Calendar is great because you get another way to look at all of the things that are coming due. Notice that I have my calendars, but I can also link it to my book club. That's the class that I'm in right now. And notice that we have that assignment that was due. But we already finished it, so we don't have to worry about it. But I just wanted to show you that the Google Classroom does link with your Google Calendar. So automatically when you have a class, it sets up a different color for you to work with a different calendar. If I have my Astronomy 101 class that I'm teaching, different options appear. If I have something with birthdays, I get to see different birthdays. But your classes all have different color codes and you get to see everything here. The one that we're working with, Book Club, the one right now, has assignments that were due Friday and Monday, but guess what? We don't have to worry about it. We finished it. And the class drive folder. Sometimes your teacher wants to post different files in the class drive folder. In this case, she posted, this is a wish tree file that I had submitted. Notice this was the other one that I submitted that she had asked us to do. And this is the essay that we were working on. So we get to see the class drive folder and we get to see the things that we put in here. And it's really cool because sometimes she wants to share stuff with us too, so we get to see that as well. So it's really neat and it's really good to take advantage of the different capabilities that we have with your Google Classroom. Notice that there's a wish tree notes. If we click here, we get to see some notes that Ms. Arredondo created as well, and you can click on view material. So okay, one more time. That's it. I think we've pretty much wrapped up all of the different features of Google Classroom from your perspective as a student accessing it for the first time. If you have any questions, please, 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 guys, and I think I said this at least 10 times, communicate with your teachers, okay? You can do so via these stream comments or the private comments or the assignments, or just through good old-fashioned just communication if you're in class. So this is Mr. Galvan one more time. Again, a big thank you to Robin Arredondo, who set up the Google Classes that I've been working with today. And just again, guys, I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and I hope you have a good one. Enjoy using Google Classroom.